Good evening, everybody, and live from Subaru Park. Our pictures do not lie. Welcome to the Kelly Cup, presented by Casa Soccer. I'm John Barchett, along with Vince Quinn. And, of course, we have someone special in the booth tonight, the manager of the Blue Stars FC, the reporter for Casa Soccer, all in general, Mr. Aaron Bartels Swindells, as I believe I've pronounced that correctly.
You've nailed it. You've absolutely
nailed
it.
There we go.
Thank
Fantastic. Welcome aboard, Aaron. What can we expect tonight in the Kelly Cup seems like the premier of premiers. Is that the case for Casa Soccer?
Absolutely. I think you can expect a great battle. I think both of these teams are going to come out fit and firing. And I think ultimately, even if one team manages to get an early goal, we're not going to see a damp squib here. We're going to see a really competitive game that goes back and forth all night long. And
lining up here, Vince Quinn, we got a nice little treats of some Union Soccer and a barn burner. They end up 2-1, and I feel like we're about to see something similar here in Game 2 as we get kicked off. Vince Quinn, what's going through your mind as we are underway here with the Kelly Cup?
Yeah, so first off, absolutely electric atmosphere for the Union game earlier today. They win with a goal in extra time. It was a really physical, ugly game. And now tonight what you get is teams that, with Southhouse FC especially, a little bit of an axe to grind, John. They lost twice. We talked with John, who was with us on the broadcast on Wednesday, playing for Southhouse. And, you know, he didn't want to see them do well the other night. They lost twice to them this year, including in the Palangi Cup. On the other night, they lost in the semifinals, and that was a 2-1 loss. So big story for tonight for Southhouse going to be fresh legs. They said they haven't had that for a long time, especially against Rose Tree. They've got all their horses tonight, and John said he's going to play them.
Rose Tree, of course, played in their in another cup that just a few days ago. As we're getting some action here from Rose Tree as they're making their way down to the pitch on the left-hand side, out to the middle, and a shot that's deflected away, and counterattack ensuing here. It's funny, Vince, you talk about John Truman, and he marks his position as left bench.
He does. Very confident in his abilities, that John Truman.
He's a sly one, though, because he'll pop up with a goal here and there, and then he'll never let you forget about it.
Well, he mentioned in his notes he loves talking trash on social media. Is that the case?
And on the field. Not just off the field, on the field, too. So we've not just got fresh legs here tonight. We've got fresh uniforms, too, for Southhouse. I've never seen them in these uniforms before.
Nice.
And I believe they're new, the camouflage. And then we've got Rose Tree in the red.
Good to spoil yourself in a championship match.
Of course.
Absolutely. I mean, right on time, too. Ooh.
Just missed the
through ball there.
Through ball, thank you.
They're going to be looking for that through ball all night, just like Rose Tree are. Both these teams are going to look to play and stretch on the break.
Rose Tree known for being very pesky. Nice footwork here.
So the man that we want to watch for Southhouse is Finn Reese. He's wearing number 11 tonight. Big ginger German, as he's known.
I already love him.
Yeah, he's really their talisman, and that's who they were trying to play in a moment ago with the through ball.
And I was looking at the numbers for him. So Finn Reese, I mean, just a monster. 16 goals in Division I. And the guy that was next closest in goals, 9.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God. He's just dominant out there.
And it's no shock either. He's done that before. Oh, let's pause. Oh,
Rose Tree with a nice attempt there as they were working it out from the corner. And now we've got Southhouse FC on the counter with a nice little lead pass to the left-hand side, waiting for some help, and he's deciding to race it in and almost getting pulled down. Are we going to have a call here, Aaron?
No, it looks like our central referee, Roy Paranatwa, has decided to have a no call on that one. I got to say, it's going to be interesting tonight to watch the referees because this is a humongous field, okay? And these referees do not usually play a three-man system. They usually play a two-man college system. So there's a lot of ground for Roy to cover in the middle tonight. And there's a lot of sideline for both of his assistants to cover too. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of job they do with that.
And what's that like from a team standpoint then? I mean, to be a player, to strategize, to have a bigger field, does that change anything? Do you try to play the same game? Like, what would you do tonight?
Well, I think it really depends on what kind of horses you've got. So if you know that you've got some guys up top with real legs, real speed, I think you're looking to stretch out the field, make use of this humongous field. If you're worried they're faster than you, maybe you're looking to drop, play a little deeper. But the deeper you play, the more you have to play on the counterattack. And if you haven't got the legs, that can be a problem. So it's going to be a real consideration for both these teams.
Certainly toss out some Gatorades for the refs tonight. It is humid out here.
Pour one out for them too, because it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I'd say about the 80-minute mark is especially when we're going to find some of those fireworks. Is the Rose Tree Gunners just they've been known for this too here, Aaron, is just being able to keep it in their zone a lot of the time. They don't really get beat on the counterattack a lot.
Yeah, you're dead right, John. You're dead right. They like to move the ball around the top of the box. They're very good at possession, and they tend to have enough guys back to cover the break. Although for me, that one before was probably a foul. So danger signs for South House.
As they're going to try and move it up here a little bit.
Truman streaking down the right, but unfortunately, Finn Reese just couldn't connect on the ball to him.
Truman wearing the big 1-1-1-0 there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. I've only met him with a hat on.
I think the other interesting thing tonight, guys, is experience versus enthusiasm. So, as I'm sure you guys know, South House have been here before. They've won this tournament before. This is Rose Tree's first time. So, Rose Tree come an awful long way, a lot like my team, Blue Stars, but maybe they've come a little further, a little more quickly. We were together with them in Tercera and Segunda. And here they are in the final. It's a very impressive road that they've trod so quickly. But South House have been here before, and South House know the ropes. So will that experience tell? Got 90 minutes to find out.
Certainly do, as some action down in their end. And anything you do learn from them just a few days ago there, Aaron, from this Rose Tree team in particular? You know these guys pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, a little too well. What did we learn from Rose Tree? I think we learned that they've got more heart than I was expecting. I think when we went in, little break down the left-hand side maybe.
And gonna pause and rally for the cavalry here. As 11 now digging into the corner. There's Big John Truman asking for the ball. Lone in the middle of the box, and that one's going to go high and wide and right out.
Needed a little more quality on that ball to find Truman. But, yeah, going back to what we were saying, what did we learn about them? So we went in with a 2-1 lead at the half, and I really thought, it's going to be hard for them to come out here and counterpunch. But that's exactly what they did. They came out, they gave us 2 quick shots, and they found themselves 3-2 up. And again, once we scored, typically you see a third goal go in and tie 3-3, and the momentum's with that team. But no, they came straight back, and I think that they dug really deep, and that's what I was most impressed with from their performance against us. Played some excellent football too, of course. Can't take that away from them, but it really is difficult mentally and physically to dig that deep.
Some quality play here, Vince Quinn, so far back and forth. Some nice attacking, just kind of like we saw last week in the 2 previous cups, except at a much higher level.
Yeah.
No disrespect to my man from the Blue Stars here. I'm not including him in that. I want to make that clear.
Good bit of back and forth so far, for sure. Teams testing each other a little bit. There was one moment where we almost had a through ball that went through and got a good chance, but it didn't happen. So just a lot of glancing, a lot of feels, but no, okay, nothing there. Good defense so far from South House.
That's number 20, Chase Flickinger for Rose Tree Gunners. Really good player, strong, physical. He's got a good shimmy. Now I think that's Fletcher cutting inside and scooping over the bar.
And 17 on the South House there. Looks like he had a date with the grass and kind of got crossed up there. And nice little chance for Rose Tree Gunners here.
Got a first sub at the night too, by the looks of it.
And that's interesting, by the way, because the thing that we learned with Rose Tree the last time around when we saw them on Wednesday was the idea that they like to get a couple of guys in at a time, 2-3 guys, constant waves of people. And talking to Dean Giovanopoulos, by the way, who's the manager for Rose Tree, I asked him, I was like, were you taking it a little easy with some of your play? Like, were you trying to sit a couple of guys with the idea knowing you've got 2 cup games in the same week? And he did say that there were a couple of guys that didn't get minutes in that game. So now different personnel in this one and a little bit more of an aggressive mindset. Hasn't made a switch yet.
both these benches are stacked, though. Both these benches have 7 or 8 quality players on them, and I think both managers will be looking to use them tonight.
One of the guys in the game, by the way, Bacon Grease is what he goes by.
Oh, he's back, baby.
Nick Sarver. And I asked him because last broadcast, he told me that he eats 37 hot dogs. He can eat 37 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I asked him if that was the truth today. He said it was not, and I was very sad.
Oh, great. So we've lied to our entire audience from last week. I hope he's ready to apologize and accept the fine that is coming to him.
Well,
You're a bad man.
He's suddenly a greasy guy.
As Southhouse FC, after having to go shag a ball in the stands, because that's how Casa rolls. Now getting an opportunity here on the left-hand side as some help is trailing. Little ricochet off of a Rose Tree defender, and now the counterattack the other way.
Southhouse did well there to break up that counterattack, and now they're back on the front foot. Getting a lot of joy down this left-hand side so far. I think every single attack so far has come down this left-hand side. Don't know if that's deliberate or if that's just how the play's working out, but something to watch.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. And by the way, people, Casa is back with the women's and non-binary soccer. It now features 2 divisions and a variety of skill levels. So if you're looking to test yourself at the top of your game, maybe you're just looking to get back into it, or you consider yourself more of a recreational player, you've come to the right place. It's a 7-on-7 league. It starts on July 7th, and QR code's in the top right corner if you want to check that out.
Southhouse FC trying to make their way and inch their way in there after a really nice shag ball from the crowd, I might add.
I don't know if it's apparent on the broadcast, but there's a decent crowd right below us. Possibly just as big as for the Palangi Cup, which is quite impressive given this is a much further drive from the city. But Rose Tree carry a good crowd, and so the Southhouse.
First corner of the night for them as well. And still kept in. A lot of headers back and forth. And now Rose Tree out on the attack as they're going to have a potential 2-on-1, and that is just good defense by Southhouse there.
Ooh, and then the turnover though, just couldn't get it to stay in.
Going to remember that one in the morning for sure.
And someone's yelling, "You messed up," from the crowd. It's going to be trash talking from the stands tonight.
Truman takes a seat, and that's Sam Marks coming in, number 13. Two-way player, really, really good technical guy, mazy dribbler. Be interesting to see what he manages to do coming in, and not his favorite position on the right wing, but that's definitely tactical, I think, to try and get something going down that side.
As throw-in goes wide, and then Vince Quinn knows my favorite play in soccer is the bomb.
Just punt it in there, baby.
We call that Route 1 football.
Route 1 football. I like that.
So because this field's so big, you can get a lot of mileage out the switch, which is what you just saw there, where the ball went back to the center back and they changed sides and they tried to attack down the other side quickly, but instead it caused a turnover, which is, again, another problem because this field's so big. How do you get there so quickly when you've just been grouped on the other side of the field?
Yeah, and what is the difference? I mean, like we were at the University of Pennsylvania watching you on roads, and we can definitely tell the difference, like conditioning-wise.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prepare for a larger field like this?
Well, I think when we get into the Primera level, the guys are pretty well conditioned because generally they were, collegiate athletes. Some of these guys have played at a higher level than that. It's really up to them to keep their conditioning high. There's not much that these teams can do as amateur teams. But you can play smart. And you can say, we're going to go for a 15-minute period where we try and get in behind, and then we're going to consolidate our gains.
Certainly a level of conditioning that we don't have. I'm not speaking for you, Aaron. I'm speaking for me and John.
No, you can speak for me. I've spent a lot of the season on the left bench like John, so.
We would be behind the bench in the stands. So that's where our conditioning is at.
Yeah, I'm not qualified for water boy.
Speaking of people on the bench, another interesting thing just bear in mind or know about this game is that Rose Tree have, as you said, Dean Giovanopoulos, who is both the captain and effectively the manager. You can see him taking some long strides down in the box right now, worried about his team. But Southhouse have a player manager in John Truman. So, Truman spent the first 10, 15 minutes on the field, and now he's come off, and he'll probably be trying to assess what's happening with his team based on what he's seen on the field, whereas Dean's making his decisions from the sideline.
And in the history of the Kelly Cup, or a lot of the teams that win, does there seem to be a trend or an advantage to having a manager on the sideline, player manager? Is there any difference?
Surprisingly, no. I will say this: it's much more of a new thing to have captain managers on the sidelines, and I think it's a mark of how the league is, for want of a better word, professionalizing. We're not professionals, obviously, but
but it's the environment's there, though. I mean, the level
people
of competitiveness,
take it really seriously.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. People take it extremely seriously, and I think like having people who are willing to give up their time and come and just manage these teams as opposed to playing in them is certainly a mark of how the league's come on in the last few years and changed.
And trying to look for another through ball there. Does not happen, and it ends up being a turnover as Rose Tree gathering themselves now here in the attack zone, looking to have a scoring chance right there.
No, doing too much there.
Mm-hmm.
He got lucky on that one.
Yeah, he should have moved the ball a bit more quickly. Oh, that's dangerous.
Dangerous indeed. Goes through. No damage done.
Southhouse keeper overcommitting there.
And an overcommitted ball that didn't quite break for Rose Tree there.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about Rose Tree, it is funny how they came together. I mean, Dean Giovanopoulos, so that the story is for him, basically, he was a player in college, had a torn labrum, and decided at that point to start focusing a little bit differently about things. So he hears about Casa, ultimately decides to get a bunch of his rec league buddies together. They win the third division, and people start to take notice. And sure enough, Division I players start getting interested in the team. They win the second division. Now here they are 2 years after they started in the Kelly Cup. And he said he would have never imagined being in this spot 2 years ago. Pretty remarkable.
He's done a tremendous job. I mean, ultimately, the dedication that he's shown and the hard work that his players have put in have really paid off. And I think one of the really hard things to do when you're building a team from third division all the way up to first is taking a group of players and identifying who your core guys are and building around them. He's done a really tremendous job of doing that, because this is not the same team that won the third division. It's not the same team that won the second division, but there is a consistency to some of the guys. And having those people skills, having that vision, it's tricky, and this is not a job. So, you've really got to admire the stick-to-itiveness of Dean to make this happen.
And Dean's probably one of the most fiery managers on the sidelines there, too. Is some nice ball work and some nice defense all at the same time.
Starting to see some shaky defending from Southhouse here. They really need to steady themselves and make sure that they can get their foot on the ball and behind the ball.
Yeah, that leaker there could have been devastating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a sweet spot.
Yeah, in the last 3 minutes alone, we've seen that flash ball from the right that overcommitted the Southhouse keeper, and now we've just seen a through ball that should have been easily dealt with, maybe just go a bit too loose.
Rose Tree's, I believe, first corner of the night as it comes in.
It's a strong double-handed punch from the keeper. It's got good distance on that.
Going the other way.
Ref's going to call that back for a free kick in the middle there. Good chance to regroup now for Southhouse.
By the way, just want to say a quick thanks to everybody watching out there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you might be. Got a comment already cheering on Rose Tree. Appreciate that.
Where are the Southhouse fans?
Yeah, come on, Southhouse. Get it together in the chat, people. This is the Kelly Cup, folks. Come on.
That's a hard knee in the back of Reese there. Ref giving a free kick. But a little unnecessary as Reese controlled it with his chest. Just a sign of how much these teams want it, perhaps.
As now some action down to the right-hand side. It's quickly turned away.
Now we get our first Rose Tree subs, I think. Or just single sub.
Single sub.
24 coming on for Rose Tree. 14 for South House, excuse me.
We got 26 warming up as well for South House. Maybe going to take the next sub.
Crowd letting everyone know that they've only got 2 subs left, I believe, on the
which is
South
not
House
accurate. It's not how that works here.
No, but it makes you turn your head twice, and that's what they're going for. I think, we were talking about the size of the field. I think one of the things that we've seen so far is that generally what can happen when you've got this size of the field is that transition game is really important. So the counterattacks have been important for both teams. We've also seen the midfield skipped out quite a bit. We haven't seen tons of play in the middle, a real central battle like we did, I think, in the Blue Stars Rose Tree game the other night. It's largely been action around the boxes.
South House finally arriving in the YouTube chat. There we go. South House Nation.
The fans heard
Welcome,
the call
welcome.
and they answered.
13 of the South House, by the way, looking for an answer. His head is hands up over his head almost every time that they've been down here to the right-hand side, thinking they can leak that out there.
It was a nice idea. It just didn't work out.
And now a turnover is... This will not cross midfield. 13 is going to get his chance now. Makes his way on up one-on-one. Some fancy footwork out to the right-hand side with a nice little lob over to the top. And a nice bounce by the keeper and a header over the top, as well as some wonderful action, some excitement, but no goals yet.
The Rose Tree keeper did extremely well there because Reese was waiting just behind him to pounce. And the ball did end up falling to another South House player, but he just couldn't capitalize. So... Interesting note on the Rose Tree keeper. He's been brought in this season, mid-season, to replace their old keeper. And I hear he's been doing extremely well.
Calling all Philadelphia Union fans, Philly Sports Trips is going to Charlotte at the end of September. They're going to see the Union take on Charlotte FC. And if you don't know Philly Sports Trips, they take care of everything. Your ticket to the game, it's the flight, it's the hotel, it's the tailgate. They'll shuttle you.
Keep going, my friend.
We're good. I
was ready to break you up. We're good.
They will shuttle. And also, if you're a Sons of Ben member, you will get a $50 discount on that trip to Charlotte. You go to phillysportstrips.com, or you can hit the QR code right there in the top-hand corner. We'll leave that up because, as we know, you left your phone in the kitchen.
While you were talking, we had a great through ball from Reese to Marks into the right-hand channel, but the Rose Tree defender just managed to outpace him and shuffle him off the ball. Really nice bit of defensive play after a dangerous pass.
And another big pass into the middle here that is kept by Southside FC with a shot up and over. And getting very dangerous around these parts here, Aaron.
There is one place that you do not want that man, Finn Reese, and it is on the 20-yard mark, squaring up with an open sight to goal, and that's exactly what they gave him. Dangerous times for Rose Tree.
You puckering up there, Vince Quinn?
Yeah, the momentum's shifting, man. It's shifting big time here. And for South House, it's just, do they get another crack at it?
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, I'm going to predict a little momentum heading to the Rose Tree way.
We'll see.
About 30 seconds. I feel it. I feel a nice counterattack coming from them pretty soon.
Rose Tree have good shape here at their 4-2-3-1 formation, but number 14 for South House breaking through and...
Ooh.
Oh, that through ball just couldn't find Reese. Needed to be more to his feet.
Now, is it just me, or does Reese seem to be a little bit more in the middle of the field now and before he was getting some action on the left?
I think you're right. I think he's come central now. And
bad turnover here.
Mm-hmm.
And South House FC still keeping it in now to the middle and still not cleared. In a shot. Deflected it in. There it is.
We have our first goal. And it looks like the linesman is not going to raise his flag, so it is going to count.
It is onside. It's a good goal, and boy, oh boy, you talk about experience, and it looks like the Rose Tree Gunners are lacking some of that experience here early on here, Vince Quinn.
Yeah, and the body language right now, I mean, hey, they just gave up a goal, but it is a level of defeat and exasperation in the moment. We'll see if they rebound, because obviously they have been a very tough team and had a lot of success lately. But, man, what an opportunity. It felt like it was coming, John. It felt like it was coming, and there it is.
Rose Tree just got rocked back onto their heels there then. The shot came in. The keeper made a save, tipped save. And maybe the defender could have or should have got there first, but like I said, just found himself resting on his laurels. And South House managed to get in for what was an emphatic finish when it really could have just been a tap-in.
I would do the same thing. I'd launch it. I would just, if I got open net like that in a championship, boom.
Make sure. You've always got to make sure. The more embarrassing thing, though, is if you go for one of those and you send it right over the top of the bar. So you got to know what you're doing.
Certainly South House FC showing what they can do early on here. As Aaron mentioned, Finn Reese, 16 goals in his division this year. Next closest was 9. Unreal.
And he's the man who technically gets the assist for that after his shot was saved by the goalkeeper.
It was exactly like you said, top of the box. He makes the turn. He puts it on net. It rebounds, goal.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a wake-up call that Rose Tree need, though.
As they're going to race to try and keep this in. A little bit of a shoulder and some fans standing up to ask where's the call, but good to keep the whistles in on that one.
They might be asking for a long time tonight. It's always a debate in soccer. Do you want the referees to have a quick whistle?
Oh, or a quick breakaway, as we see one here from South House FC. If he pulls away, here's 11 into the box and around and a shot and off the post.
Excellent save from the keeper. The keeper waited and waited and waited. He stood up and then he got that strong left foot to it to push it out to the side and off the post.
Man, the most devastating man in the top division on a breakaway, and he makes the save. That was huge.
Yeah.
Got to remember that one from later on. If we're in the second half of this one, and we'll definitely remember that save. Great save here.
Mm-hmm. Rose Tree keeper earning his money after maybe a small error for the first goal.
Corner in now. Some heads get on it. And cleared out here by Rose Tree.
That's the third corner now where Rose Tree have not managed to win the ball when it's come into the box.
And a big, deep shot to see if the goalkeeper's awake. He is. A little too much mustard on the ball as well.
But who doesn't want to try a hot dog? What a shot.
Is that what that's called, a hot dog? I love that.
No, I'm just making the play on the mustard.
Is that called to something, by the way, when you're trying to, lob one over to the goalkeeper?
Just call it a chip shot.
A chip shot.
Chip shot from the halfway line.
I like it.
I mean, some people might call it a head and hope.
No one calls it the Steph Curry, though, huh?
Not yet.
Guess the soccer was around before Steph Curry.
Depends how many people are hearing this broadcast.
We'll ask John some soccer trivia later as he's learning the game.
I can't wait.
Finn does not look happy to be subbed there. I think he's hungry.
Probably frustrated after that last one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. South House obviously think now is a good time to get him a little bit of rest. 1 goal to the good and in the ascendancy.
Yeah, what would you tell Rose Tree right now if you're trying to find this goal? It's just be patient, play your game. Are you trying to press a little bit here? What are you doing if you're Rose Tree?
It's a little too early to press on such a large field. I think Dean has the right idea. He seems to be sending in a bunch of fresh legs. Excuse me. I think what you're looking for is a little more energy. You're looking to try and get him behind, spread them wide, see what you can get out the game. Because right now they're getting pushed back and they're maybe not having the possession in the midfield that they're used to.
And that's what they did a lot on Wednesday. I mean, they were dominant in the midfield. They were just constantly pass. They'd get the turnovers. Brutal.
Yeah, we were struggling to contain them in the midfield.
Wasn't going to say anything.
And I'm not trying to dig the knife. I just got to tell you what I saw.
Credit where credit's due. They played a great game in the middle. I think we played a bit of a better game up top, trying to get in behind them. But they certainly had the better of the play in the middle of the park. And that's what they need to win here. They definitely need possession, create chances. They're a team that volume shoots.
And the goal scoring reflects that, by the way. I mean, it didn't seem like they have a real leading goal scorer. It's a couple of guys that share it, and it's well distributed, you would say.
Definitely. They have guys who share the load rather than a single.
There's another breakaway opportunity upcoming for 21 from. Oh man, and it just breaks left for South House.
It's a sighter. We call that a sighter. He's had a sighter goal and he hit it, and he tried to get it on target. I think the keeper must have got a small touch on that because they've given the corner.
Oh, interesting. It's now South House FC with what feels like their fourth corner of the night.
Sending up an extra man here to try and get the advantage.
No advantage there, but still maintaining control here. Nice lead-in pass that gets shuffled away.
I think that was awkward for the Rose Tree defender, but he dealt with it really well.
About 30 minutes in, by the way, for everybody watching at home. And if you're looking to pick up some soccer, but you don't have the time to commit for a full season, maybe you just want to get some extra work in between games, or maybe I will promote the wrong thing. What you should do is the 5-on-5 co-ed. And 5-on-5 co-ed, so this is still a relaxing, casual thing for Casa. It's a 5-on-5, and it's just the chance that, hey, you're trying to get back in it, or you can't compete as seriously as a lot of these leagues are, especially like these teams are, and Aaron's team, the Blue Stars. So if you want to get in on a 5-on-5 Mixto league, you can scan the QR code in the top right, and that is going to start on July 7th.
You ever played in a Mixto, Aaron?
I have, actually. It's a lot of fun. All the Casa Sevens leagues are a lot of fun. So for me as a goalkeeper, they're extremely fun because you see a lot of shots. You know, you go down, you play for 50 minutes, and you see a lot of action. I thoroughly recommend them to anyone who's trying to get back into the game.
A lot of action in the corner here as well, as Rose Tree's getting very frustrated as South House keeps getting the calls down here.
And keeps maintaining the pressure. I mean, they've really, for the most part, been in control of this game. A lot of big opportunities, a lot of pressure on Rose Tree's side of the field. And for a team that the last time we saw them, really had a strong aggression to them. They just haven't been able to find it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't overemphasize the sense of occasion. Maybe the sense of occasion has got to them because we're in a beautiful stadium under these floodlights. Pitch is absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, you kind of have to pinch yourself to think, like, are we really here? So maybe that sense of occasion has got to them, but it doesn't last forever. They will get themselves back into this game. They will start working the ball around, and you can see some of the Rose Tree players now saying to each other, step up, move up, let's start pressing.
Maybe that can start right now as they start moving up towards midfield. Nice little crosser out to the right-hand side. And they have got their man in the middle, number 7, with a shot, and probably wants that one back as it trickles out to the left.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll feel that he could have done a lot better there because that was a well-worked move, and it gave him a good side to goal.
Whistle out there?
Just looking for a new ball.
You ready for some trivia, John?
I'm always ready for some trivia. And folks, I know football, but I don't know football as well. So this is your opportunity to make fun of me as well, as we're going to try and go through some football terms here with Vince Quinn. What do you got? What's first?
All right, John. Well, this one, it's going to be nice and easy here to start. If I was talking about watching the game and I mentioned woodwork, what would I mean if I was talking about woodwork?
Is that the bench? Are we talking about the bench? I have no idea what the woodwork is.
Incorrect, John.
What's the woodwork in soccer?
That would be the post, like the full frame around the goal is, yes. That would be the woodwork.
Traditionally made of wood, but no longer.
That makes a ton of sense.
The more you
Soccer
know.
1, John Barchard 0 in terms of knowledge so far. But I got to tell you guys, like you are winning me over. Casa has been phenomenal, just being able to be a part of it for honestly, about a week and a half. And curtailing that with being able to see a Union game, and granted, that's still not everybody out in Europe, but I get it. The stadium here, the atmosphere is wonderful. I think I might even find one of those lower level divisions in Casa and get the old footwork back going and see what soccer feels like too.
You're coming for Tice in Division 6, man.
Dang right. The legend.
Tice was a former Blue Star.
Is that right?
No way.
Back in the day, yeah. Tice is he's probably got a claim to being one of Blue Star's leading scorers. But as he aged, he sort of moved down, and we moved up, and that's just the way that goes.
The ball, and man, it feels like Southside FC has had multiple opportunities to try and open up a breakaway here.
Yeah, South House just can't quite get it going with the final ball. But Rose Tree are starting to build possession now.
Mm-hmm.
They are starting to get more of the ball in the midfield. They're starting to move South House around. Not yet effectively, but it's only a matter of time, I feel. Cut out some of these easy turnovers and
some pretty nice moves, but too many South House jerseys around. As clearly offsides with the I didn't do that hands.
That was marginal. It was marginal. He could have been away there. Rose Tree are playing a higher line now, and that's the risk of it.
Really maintaining control on that side of the field. Now finally able to break that open in the middle. Nice deep shot with a missed header.
God, he's going to want that one back. That was a chance. That was a real chance.
They haven't had many today.
And still somehow have it down on their side. And now here comes South House with some room.
You know, to go back to what you were saying a second ago, John, as this play breaks down, I think one of the excellent things about soccer, football, whatever we want to call it this evening, is that you can carry on playing soccer at an amateur level, and it can still be really enjoyable and competitive. And you just can't really do that to the same degree with lots of other sports that you might play at the college level or you might play at the high school level. It's pretty hard to carry on being a baseball player or an American football player the older you get. But
extremely hard, by the way, from experience.
Those dreams never go away, though, do they? So, you know, that's one of the beautiful things about soccer. It really is a game for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Except for one guy. I do want to mention somebody. This is really interesting from South House FC. Tom Baker, who first off is known as Offside Tom because apparently he gets called offside all the time. This is unbelievable.
On the field or off the field?
That's what he said on the field. Who knows?
Okay.
Lock your windows and doors, folks. Tom Baker was suspended by the NCAA his senior year for a free haircut.
Oh, my goodness.
Criminal. That is unbelievable.
Someone that I definitely know celebrated the NIL news, our man Tom. My goodness.
Yeah, get that man a sponsorship now. What are you up to, Haircuttery?
Yeah.
Haircuttery, you up? Stadium Cuts, you up? Do they still exist, Stadium Cuts?
I don't think so.
I don't. It seems like a weird premise.
Yeah, sports cuts. There's Taylor Cordatis, our cameraman, chiming in there.
There we go. Somebody get the man a haircut.
At least 50 of them.
Roshi just passing it right into the legs of a South House player. They're struggling to break this block down.
A lot of it's been stuck in there. Oop, and maybe some tired legs. And miscommunication at the same time as here comes 1-9, all fist and fury, trying to break his way around. Doesn't. Finds a crosser right in the middle. Rebound, and it's in. 21 with what just happened. Did I score? Yes, sir, you did. An oopsie daisy that ends up being a backbreaker towards the end of the first half. 2-0 South House. It is Kelly Cup time, Vince Quinn.
Woo, boy. And it's one of those things where, I mean, look, the goalie makes a nice play. The shot's right in front of him. He's able to get down. He stops it. He just can't hold it off enough. And from a shot that close, I can't imagine it's easy to do. Comes right back on his foot for South House and an easy push in.
Aaron, what happened there? What did you see?
So 19 got down to the byline. It was a cut back, a really nice pull. Came to the striker. He hit it well, but the keeper, as we were saying, made a really good save. And then I just think it ricocheted back in off him, and there was nothing the keeper could do. So it's really all about creating opportunity in order to be in the right place. And that's exactly what South House did, and they've been rewarded.
So here comes Rose Tree as they're looking for an opportunity now. They get in close for a quick little lob goal. Nothing doing.
They just can't get the ball out their feet in these shooting situations at the top of the box.
Tough to have to go in the stands, too. Go and retrieve that as the keeper. But while they work on that, if you're a runner, cyclist, soccer player, really any other kind of athlete in the Philadelphia area, and you're looking to connect with people who share the same passion, you can do that now through Ezio. Ezio, who was out and about today. We know Ian, the founder, letting people know about the app, getting them signed up. Ezio stands for every sport for everyone, and that's their mission. It allows you to find individuals and rec groups, and they're located right in your area. So if you want a local sports resource right at the tip of your fingers, visit eziosports.com, or you can sign up for the app today on that QR code, and we got it right at the top of the screen for you.
See, and if you need to find somebody to go lace up again and get the rust off of your knees or legs, I would just go find Aaron and be like, hey, man, I need to go run and get ready for Casa, and you can do that easily right there on the Ezio app.
Have to drag me out with you, I'm afraid. Now that we're in the off season, my workouts get few and far between.
Well, that's okay. I have 0, so one would be good. As Rose Tree now looking to push, they have a man on the right-hand side.
A lot of space.
And a pass in the middle. Ooh, man, and he's hands on the head. It's been there before.
You just wondered if that might spin in, but eventually it came off the defender and went out for a corner.
I believe that was Victor Saldo, by the way, the center back who I spoke to a little bit before the game from South House. And fun fact about Victor, he beat LeBron James on SportsCenter's top 10 one night.
Get out of town.
Yeah, he didn't say what number he got.
But he still beat LeBron James.
He did not say what. I want to know what number he is in the countdown. I should have asked.
I want to know where to put the trophy in his house on the crosser as it comes in here and cleared out. Man, that's amazing.
It is pretty cool.
What team does he play for, Vince Quinn?
So he's with South House center back, and he broke up that last play.
And now an outlet pass to 11 and cleared away frustratingly. And number 12 there, a Rose Tree.
Finn Reese is a dangerous man.
He is. Do you think when he got that tip on LeBron in Sports Center, he said, one day this is going to come in really handy when I'm playing in an amateur soccer league and need a fact for the final?
I would milk that so hard. I mean, I won an egg toss in 2005, and I don't shut up about it. So
and that is true, life. Aaron, unfortunately.
I mentioned it to John like a week ago. I'm not even kidding.
I'm definitely using on Tinder.
I've never won an egg toss, so I'm kind of jealous.
Egg toss not on the Ezio app, not yet.
Sounds like I just found your off-season program there, Aaron. Header in and out.
That was
just
Reese
to the left-hand
again.
side. He
Reese
is hungry.
Again, powering a ball past the post.
You could say it just missed the woodwork, John. See?
Just missed the woodwork there. Marvelous.
How's his accent, Aaron?
Pretty bad.
The accent was good. Typically, we use the woodwork phrasing when it hits the woodwork. So you don't typically say it when it goes past it.
Did you guys have some lingo for when it like misses it? Is the goal called something else other than
just say net in that case?
I'm gonna have to think about that one. When it goes just wide, we might
or just
that.
anything. Like in hockey, I know they call it. Sometimes it's the bread basket. You're putting the bread in the bread
onion
basket.
Back.
The onion back.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Where did that originate from?
Outback Steakhouse.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna take a wild.
Ooh, nice shot with some Heavy volume on
I'm
there.
going to take a wild shot in the dark and just guess that it was made from the same material. Yeah, that's just a guess. Interesting pattern, I think, building here where Rose Tree are able to get shots at the top of the box around what we in Britain call the D, which other people might call the semicircle. And that's about the fourth look that they've had now where they just haven't been able to get it on target, and they will regret not putting their laces through those balls and testing the keeper.
Really has changed these last maybe 8-10 minutes, something like that. And by the way, folks, we're approaching stoppage time if we haven't hit it yet. We're just about in that ballpark for the game here. But yeah, I mean, they've got a couple of nice chances lately, and they've really needed it. I mean, just something to believe in going into halftime.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to, be a fly on the wall in Dean's team talk at halftime, because I think he'll want to give these boys an injection of energy, but he's probably also going to want to change a few things, because what they started doing for the first half hour has not been terribly productive.
How many curse words are coming out of Dean's mouth at halftime, by the way?
Oh, I don't know about that. Hey, there's going to be a few choice words, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, this is a very competitive league, but it's also a league where everyone is showing up to play with their friends, and no one's there to get cussed out. So,
and there it is. There is the first half coming to a close as the South House FC fans rise to greet and say, "Job well done," for a 2-0 lead here in the Kelly Cup. And, oh boy, just like we've been talking about here, the Rose Tree Gunners are going to have some work cut out for them here in about the next 15 minutes or so. But, Aaron, what would they have to do to get back in this game right in the second half? What would be your strategy?
I think we've seen the recipe in those last 10, 15 minutes where they've just had possession in the opponent's half. They managed to keep them away from the fast breaks. I think that they've got to find a way to get themselves more shots inside the box. So far, we've only seen them have shots outside the box. We've seen 2 dangerous deliveries that maybe could have been capitalized on a little more. But I think Dean is going to be trying to figure out the answer to the question, how do I get more chances nearer the goal? Because they have to test the goalkeeper.
Vince Quinn, it's been a very memorable first part of our Kelly Cup here. What have you seen so far, and what are some of the things you're looking forward to here in the second half?
Well, yeah, I mean, first off, when you look at this game, you do talk about experience, and as we've talked about South House, I mean, they won the Cup twice in 2019. So they did it in the spring and the fall. And to be able to keep enough of those core parts together, they are experienced in this. They do have the leading goal scorer in the league. He was a factor in the first goal that they scored. And talking about where this game was going to go, Rose Tree, for who I've discussed with, they seemed like the underdog in this game, as good as they've been. And so for them, this is a real gut check. I mean, look, you got one half left. You're doing it with a younger team. Like, I saw the guys today before the game. So I saw them hanging out in the lot. And by the way, it was like 5,000 degrees, which I figure is a factor in all of this. To sit out in the sun all day, watch a game, and do that here at Subaru Park, and then get out on the field. It's just a tough environment to be in. And for these young guys, all 22, 23, 24, for them to have, do they have that focus as they've gone throughout the day? That was something that was discussed on both sides. And for now, South House has had it. And for Rose Tree, they got to find a way to rally.
And there is a lot of chanting going on, which we'd like to see.
Interesting to watch both of these huddles at halftime, where in both situations, what we have is the managers taking a back seat, letting their players talk. They're trying to sort of crowdsource opinions about what exactly has been going well, what exactly has been going wrong. And ultimately, they'll come back in and have their say. Like, I think we've got the camera right now on the South House huddle, and you can see John Truman trying to wrap up, maybe reinforce some of the points that he's heard made by his players, throw in a couple of his own. And I imagine that Dean's doing the same thing over on the other side. Disappointing, I think, for the Rose Tree keeper to come in, because I think he's made a few decent saves and been a little unlucky on 2 of those goals.
And that's just part of the job, right? I mean, sometimes you feel like you play a decent game, but when both of his goals have been rebounds.
Exactly. Like, he'll probably be looking at his defense and thinking, like, could you have done a little better getting in front of that man there? And I think he'll probably be right, because he's made some good saves, and it's a bit of a shame not to be able to hold on to the ball sometimes. But your job at the end of the day is to get behind the ball, and what happens after that is down to the defenders. So he'll come off and be a little disappointed, I think. Just as much as I think Reese will come off and be a little disappointed that he didn't get a goal, despite having got the assist for one of them.
Yeah, and we will see where that goes because, right now it is a 2-0 game. He had a breakaway, and if Rose Tree has the ability to come back, which they won, like if people missed this earlier, Rose Tree has beaten South House twice this season. And when we were talking with John Truman the other night, he was kind of joking about it, how like he's seen too much of South House. He knows them too well. So when you're seeing that kind of situation here, Rose Tree before 6-3 in the regular season, they won 2-1 the last game they played. And the biggest thing in that game was, and this is what multiple people on South House told me, was that it was just that final minute. They just didn't have the legs anymore. And so that is the thing that you look at here. All right, you still have a whole half of the game. If Rose Tree can keep the stamina up, it is the more youthful team. If they can have that energy late, maybe they can turn it around.
South House are definitely pumped up for this one in a way that they weren't for that semifinal.
Starting to take the field here. Get ready for the second half.
Side switching ends, of course. Maybe that will have an impact. Maybe there's one end that's a little bit easier to play out of. You never know what the field conditions are like down there. But it does look like a beautiful carpet from up here.
Certainly does. And as they switch sides, John and I are changing shirts.
That's right.
Just got to see what it feels like wearing a large. It's been a while.
It's an XL, thank you very much. And that's Dolce & Gabbana, so don't get it messed up.
Dolce & Gabbana, is it now? There you go.
That's
They
right.
size smaller abroad.
Yeah, this is fresh off the rack at Kohl's. Big time dollars here in the booth.
All right, gentlemen, let's make some predictions. Does South House hold on and win a Kelly Cup? Or are we going to see the incredible tonight and the Rose Tree Gunners are going to make a comeback here?
My gut instinct is it's South House. And I'm going to have a much stronger opinion on that in the next 10 minutes or so. But looking at how, because one, the halftime is pretty short. So you get a chance to regather here, but it's not a complete separation where it's a full emotional reset like it can be at a lot of other instances. So quicker turnaround. The energy from South House has been real. And I think with a 2-goal lead, this feels very likely going their way.
Well, all due respect to star left bench player John Truman, but I do feel that there is a Rose Tree Gunners run here at some point in time. And now that we're underway in the second half, hopefully we see some of that going on.
So 2-0 is a hard score to come back from, I think. But we're going to be looking for a Rose Tree goal pretty early here if they're going to stand a chance of getting back. And you can see immediately that South House don't really mind playing the ball around the back, taking their time, working it forward to frustrate Rose Tree. So I think that we're going to see South House play a bit of cat and mouse, maybe try and get that third goal by getting Rose Tree to overcommit. But if Rose Tree can get that goal, a 1-goal margin and the momentum swings, wouldn't rule them out.
Made the Kelly Cup finals, or semifinals, I should say, last year, Rose Tree Gunners. So first time in this game, but not foreign to them necessarily.
I mean, let's not forget, too, I try to forget every day, but I can't. The Rose Tree have won a title very recently. So Rose Tree, the more experienced title-winning team in technical terms of late. But that experience not showing yet so far.
And it really does feel like the influence, I was about to say, of Finn Reese has been pretty evident on that side of the ball, but some touching, no touching.
Definite foul there. Definite foul. I think the referee would have been hard-pressed not to give that one after what can only be described as a gladiator tackle.
Yeah, if you missed the Sunday night WWE pay-per-view, it's all right here.
For free. So we're about 30 yards out here. It's a difficult distance to score from, but the Rose Tree Gunners goalkeeper will want to set up his wall. He'll be quite assiduous about that, and hopefully what we'll see is probably a cross ball towards the back post for one of those 3 lingering South House players. Are they going to set for a shot?
Ooh, and they do, and
Ooh.
pretty good chance there as a rocket ship goes towards the right corner of the goal.
So they took that little touch there to just touch it past the wall and maybe give themselves a little bit of a chance to bend it past the keeper.
Looking for that 3-0, let's go to bed and start drinking beers goal.
After this heat, I'm ready to go to bed.
South House won a cold game.
Near turnover there. Yes, now becomes a full one.
I just got crowded out there. Need to move the ball a bit more quickly.
And a nice little lob over to the left-hand side. A little jersey pull.
My
And
goodness.
full pull down.
And referee Roy Parent was going to pull him in there. He's going to give him a yellow card.
Nice big yellow. As you guys weren't kidding, the pay-per-view lives on.
Terrell Owens cringed when he saw that. That was the horse collar tackle all over again. Man, that was aggressive.
No timeouts in soccer there.
Want to shout out Kyle O'Connor, by the way, from South House.
What's up, Kyle?
12th year at Casa and his third time playing at Subaru
Get out
Park.
of town. Not
Unbelievable.
bad.
Very impressive. Obviously got a problem with the ball here. Maybe a little flat. Nope. Don't like that anymore.
Next.
We're open for souvenirs up here in the booth, guys.
Very true.
Kick it right up here in the booth. Free goals.
Kick coming from Rose Tree here. As looks like they're trying to get a nice little lob pass out to the right-hand side. Maintain control for a second. South House with the clear.
I'm going to switch that right out. Here we go down the left now.
They do, and they have enough speed to get by one. Nice little on the goalkeeper shot. Easy save.
That's what Rose Tree will want to do, though, to try and get in behind those fullbacks, try and get the ball down to the byline, and then test the keeper, maybe see if he can't hold it. Oh.
Get a little chippy.
Now, what's the approach rules there, Aaron? What can and can't you do when the goal contender places the ball back down to the ground?
So what seems to have happened there is I think the goalkeeper took the kick and then technically kicked it to himself. So he took repossession of it, and now we have an indirect free kick to Rose Tree, which is it's an unusual outcome, but it is in the rules. You can't kick the ball to yourself as the goalkeeper. You can't sort of take it, throw it down on the floor, take a touch, and then choose to pick it up again. You can only put it down once.
Well, I'm glad you're here for that because I had no idea what was happening.
But to answer your question, you cannot block the goalkeeper while he's trying to take the kick, especially as it comes out of two hands. It's dangerous and unfair, and it leads to a yellow card usually. This could be a good way back into the game for Rose Tree here. So what we're seeing now...
Quick indirect. Ooh, man, and a great chance. Just a little too much sauce on there.
Yep.
And is that basically what we're going to see there, Aaron? Is there what you were going to say?
That was exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that we're going to see someone tap it back to try and get the shot around the wall and maybe put it into the bottom right-hand corner. And I think that's what they were trying to do, but they ended up striking it into the man and over for a corner.
Rose Tree. Big corner. No contact. Right to South House as they get the clear out. And part of what you were saying there, Aaron, obviously, this is kind of find that third goal, let them make mistakes.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Now a chance to reset. And this is what Rose Tree needs. I mean, look, South House is sitting back a little bit, which I get. You got 2 goals. You're comfortable right now. They've been disciplined. They're very much in control. And for Rose Tree, now they're trying to pick up the heat a little bit, and now you get a turnover in the midfield. Let's see if they can counter.
15, looking to open it up. Does it a little too much.
They're constantly trying to feed that central striker, aren't they? But the ball was just overhit there.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the 3 or 4 times in the half they were setting up the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I think the credit that you've got to give to South House is that as much as they've been trying to find Reese and set him up, he hasn't got the goals. They've been finding other sources. The other players have been chipping in nicely so far this game.
There's pressure on the sideline here. South House remaining calm. Nice back and forth. Little give and go. Rose Tree looking for that counter and still can't get it out.
I think Rose Tree will be looking for some fresh legs soon. It looks like they're starting to tire a bit. Athletic looking header away there.
Oh, very much so.
By the way, if you're looking to play some soccer, you don't have the time to commit because, hey, look, this is an intensive league. No problem. What you got is the open pickup, from Casa. They've got plenty of open pickup events. It's on their meetup group. And you get some clinics from that, watch parties, and all sorts of other Casa events. You can scan the QR code that we put up there in the top right corner for you. And we'll leave that on the screen for a little bit.
Rose Tree now getting the whistle.
Looked like an inadvertent handball from the South House player.
He knows it, or at least...
He's not protesting too much, is he?
Nope. Always know when you just start immediately backpedaling with your hands out to the side of you. You probably did it.
Yeah, you ever seen those videos of dogs that ate the cupcakes off the table and the owner comes home? Yeah, they know what they did.
Literally just saw the human version of that.
Yep.
And up and over for Rose Tree.
Good header away by the defender. I don't think he knew much about it, but he managed to get it away.
A nice little knuckleball. Try and throw off the goalkeeper there.
Little over 10 minutes in, by the way.
I think both sides here will be pleased with these first 10, 15 minutes. South House will be pleased that they've consolidated their lead, and Rose Tree, I think, will be pleased that they look a little sharper than they did in the first half. They've been moving the ball nicely, got in once or twice, and signs maybe look promising for them, but they're going to have to capitalize sooner rather than later.
And part of that could be nerves. I mean, look, it is Subaru Park. Like, look at this place. I mean, it's big. Kelly Cup up on the big screen over there. It's just a big, beautiful scene. And maybe you do walk in and get on the field and just go, oh, my God. Like, it just takes some time to adjust occasionally. And they might not want to admit that, but could be the case.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we've got the cup on a table by the side of the field. Every time you go on to take one of your substitutes, you get a little glimpse of that cup and you think, oh, it could be mine. But it definitely gets you. You've got to shut all that noise out there and play your game.
Rose Tree with an unfortunate elbow here. It gets called. South House lining up the free kick. Up and over, looking for it. Cleared out by Rose Tree for a moment. Gained back by South House. Some nice moves around the outside, but better defense. Rose Tree will regroup now.
Like the linesman was willing to give a free kick there, and I think we got a free kick rather than a goal kick, perhaps.
Yeah.
Long punt downfield.
That's Bartred football, baby.
Oh, it is.
Had a great goal like that in the Contenders Cup on Wednesday. Just rocketed it down the field.
I've got to say, I was really impressed with the quality of the Contenders Cup. I mean, given that those guys are technically, quote unquote, the lower divisions, the skill on display was very impressive. I mean, some really nice goals, and unfortunately, it turned into a bit of a one-sided contest. But for the first 30 minutes, I thought it was really good to watch.
No doubt about it.
Also good to watch right now, Rose Tree getting some momentum as they're switching over to the left-hand side. And, unforced error.
And you can see Dean Giovanopoulos on the sideline clutching his fists after that one.
Especially because he's, rightfully, you wouldn't be wearing a jacket tonight, but if he was, the jacket would be coming off, I think, as well.
I would be taking the jacket, the pants off. I'm glad I'm dressed in shorts and a T-shirt.
I don't know if I'm glad you're in the booth.
South House now looking to give Finn McCool a little run. And by Finn McCool, I mean Finn Reese.
I thought
wondering what was up
I
with
thought
that.
you'd come up with a new nickname for
But
him.
he might as well be. That's your new nickname there, Mr. Reese. I apologize.
When you score 16 goals, you can be Finn McCool.
Do we have many nicknames for the boys this evening?
There's a couple. Sebastian Stelmach, the goalie for South House, goes by Bash.
Okay.
And he said his favorite thing about the team is no one likes us.
At least he knows himself.
It's excellent. So that's a good one. I mentioned Bacon Grease earlier, Nick Sarver.
Now, who's the team no one likes in Casa?
To be honest, it's probably South House.
Oh, is it?
South House and Misconduct win a lot of championships, and they talk a lot of smack. So,
well, when you win a lot, you can talk a lot. So
probably South House more than Misconduct. I might be doing Misconduct a little bit of an unfair comment there.
Truman's a rascal down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
On both sides is now Rose Tree with a little bit of a rush here. South House with numbers.
And just see how South House settle into their shape here. They get on the low block and they look to frustrate Rose Tree, and then they'll try and break out of it with pace. And it's worked so far twice for them.
And almost does here again. To the right side. Big shot. And wow, I don't think they were expecting that to go in, and neither was I. I thought that was going to be a setup on the right side. He decides to blast it through. Maybe even the goalkeeper, a tiny bit of sleep, but doesn't matter. Rose Tree's back in this one. 2-1, Vince Quinn.
My goodness, I think he just caught everybody in this building sleeping with that shot. I mean, just out of nowhere, rockets that through on the ground. Just a beautiful ball. And the life in this stadium now, it just feels completely different after that. And you can already see a little extra pep in Rose Tree. Wow.
Well, I said at the half they've got to test the keeper, and that's exactly why. Because, my goodness, he really should have done a lot better with that one. It's a shot from 30 yards out. He sees it early, but he just doesn't get to move his feet, and it goes way past him into the bottom-hand corner.
Just a gutsy play. I mean, beautiful work there.
Why not? Why not have a shot? Why not try and test the keeper, see what the keeper's got? Maybe the keeper's having a bad day. Maybe the heat's got to him.
Yeah.
If you don't test the keeper, you never know. You're never going to get a chance. But now 2-1, one goal in it, momentum swings the other way, and we'll see what happens.
It's definitely woken South House up as what was once jovial, even lighthearted, I would say, has now turned deadly quiet and serious as they're trying to find that 2-goal lead once again.
And we're around the 63rd minute at this point. People keeping track at home. Shout out to producer Bill Kornfeld because he's managing the clock better than me.
Where would we be without Bill?
We love you, Bill.
Probably somewhere in Albuquerque. And it's South House now looking up to keep the pressure on. A floater over. No help. Still in. And cleared now. Back to midfield. But quickly looking for another chance as they see a lob and a header back out. And Aaron Southhouse ever since letting that goal up, I was just about to say, keeping up a lot of pressure on that side. But
yeah, they're trying to turn it up, aren't they? They're trying to put the pressure on, try and get the advantage back, that 2-goal cushion, because it feels a lot better to be 2 goals up than 1, because you know the tables could turn at any point.
And this is when the negative thoughts creep into your head for the first time, right? Because now, like your Southhouse, you might go, well, they did beat us twice this year. And, I mean, they are showing a little spunk right now. There's a lot of time left. There's still almost a half hour left in this game. Maybe they're starting to come back here. So a bit of a mental game changer as well.
Absolutely. And at some point, if you're the managers of these teams, you start to think, when am I going to have my best 11 on the field? And, like, maybe you end up doing that prematurely because you go up a goal. Or maybe if you're Southhouse, you do that prematurely because you think, we've really got to consolidate our lead right now. Interesting tactics and choices for both these keepers to make. Sorry, for both these managers to make.
This 2 subs came on for each just before that last whistle. 19 for Rose Tree, 29 for Southhouse. Some contact there, asking for a whistle, but there's nothing doing. And Rose Tree now with numbers into the goal box. A shot, and just floats over to try and push over the goalkeeper with the wind. But no shot on goal.
Thought he might have something cooking there when he cut towards the byline, but didn't come off.
Well, as we get some subs into the game here around the 65th minute, if you are a runner, cyclist, soccer player, or really any other kind of athlete and you want to connect with people who share the same passion, now you can do that through the Ezio app. And Ezio stands for Every Sport for Everyone. That is their mission, and it allows you to find individuals and rec groups located right in your area. So if you want a local sports resource right at the tip of your fingers, visit eziosports.com or check out the QR code right in the top of your screen.
And a quick throw in and turned away. And again, like we said before, the great thing about that Ezio app is if you're part of Casa Soccer and want to try and keep in shape, they're for spring, the summer. So a lot of great other soccer players that you can go and find and just, hey, let's go find a pickup game. Let's go run around and get in shape. Ezio.com.
Can't really underestimate the power of peer pressure.
Exactly.
The crowd is always right.
The Southhouse. Ooh, trying to look for a nice outlet. I don't think they're going to. Ooh, he does corral it in time. Rose Tree now the other way.
Rose Tree is starting to play much more fluid football here. I mean, you see this, the way that they're moving the ball from side to side. It just looks a lot better. It feels a lot better. I think they're going to be pleased that they've started to pick up their game.
It's psychology. It's life, you know? I mean, when you get that opportunity where it's just suddenly you're back in this game in an unexpected way, you go, oh, my God, I got to get it together. Let's go.
It's flow, too. Like, you know, once you're able to find your flow as a player or whatever you're doing in life, things become a lot easier when you stop thinking about them. So, you know, 20 minutes into this half, maybe some of these players are starting to find their flow.
Yeah, like high school biology. I stopped thinking about it.
You think you've got your flow?
I do, but it's not in biology. I got C's.
Here comes Rose Tree on a little bit of a chance and somehow tries the deke, but I got to be honest with you, folks. It almost looks like he dekes right into the player. I know he's looking for the call.
I think he tried to buy it, didn't he?
I think he tried to buy it a little bit there, too.
Referee wasn't taking what he was selling.
And trust me, folks, I am a flop art respecter, so don't think I'm criticizing. I respect it so much, I don't think he was even flopping. Just surprised. There's some nice chasing work here from Southhouse FC.
That is
and
some
still alive,
energy.
I believe, never went out, as Rose Tree is going to continue to take it up after a great sequence there.
That was like a blood feud kind of play. He just wouldn't let that go.
Rose Tree have really turned it around, though. They've managed to counterattack and have the ball coming into the box.
And ooh, a nice chance there. Didn't even think that ball was going to get through. Everybody's asleep. Rose Tree's going to be able to save this. And just for a moment as it goes out of the goal line.
Got a little too enthusiastic and touched it out there.
I've been there before, too. You try and turn the corner, and you're like, oh, nope. I can't quite do that.
60 minutes in until the dog noises. That's restraint. That's restraint.
For this broadcast, yes, it is.
Oh, boy. So we have starting to near that 70-minute mark. I've woken up. I don't know about you guys. I was
I'm feeling
settling
sprightly.
in.
I'm feeling sprightly.
This is good.
And we'll have Aaron on the sidelines, by the way, after the game, talking to some people on the field, get up close with the Kelly Cup. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We need that sprightly energy.
Well, it's a good opportunity to ask some of these guys how they feel the game's gone and get an immediate reaction.
Boy, what is, speaking of flops, an unbelievable, beautiful one, I believe, by 11 and gets the call. Although I think he's arguing with the ref. What would you be arguing with right now if you're getting the call here, Aaron?
I think he's asking for a card. I think he's saying I was impeded, I was going to break away, and he's saying I want a yellow card. For his opponent, obviously, not for himself.
Give me the yellow card. Rose Tree finding a soccer bottle and also water bottle on the field. Excellently thrown off, by the way.
Ooh,
as Rose
nice
Tree
touch, just didn't come off.
You still got touched like that, Aaron?
Nope, never had it. never lost it.
Subs coming on now. 2 for South House, 6 and 7. 24 coming on for Rose Tree.
Getting into the business end of this game, we're going to start seeing things get fast and furious soon.
That'd be movie number 10, I want to say.
Yeah.
Is that 10 in the franchise?
Fast and Furious, the Kelly Cup.
The Rock.
Only in theaters.
Shoots out of the middle of the field.
South House with a little bit of a pressure here. See if Rose Tree can make that mistake, and I think they just did.
South House forcing the error.
And force it on themselves before they get a scoring chance.
Truman just couldn't connect there. I think he was thinking that Finn was going to fade out to the right and chip the ball there, but didn't come off.
Truman, of course, is a spry 28, he told us.
Is he only 28?
He is, and he acts like an old man.
I was going to say, I thought he was a little bit older than that, but it's making me look young.
Around the 70-minute mark here, folks.
As there is Truman cutting in, 29. Getting a wall delivered to him with a nice move. Getting her back around it, and I believe a corner as well, as the crowd is now getting fired up.
Woo! I see they're still selling beer at this hour, huh?
Well, they never stopped. Yeah.
Shout out to the staff at Subaru Park.
Send up some nachos.
And maybe one of those purse beers. Here, those are popular around these parts. Rose Tree after the corner. The speed through ball. But the legs aren't there. They're going to keep the whistles in, and I think that's a good decision.
It's a good tackle.
As now they have numbers, a late whistle there and some frustration from the South House side. Understand that, but still think the whistle was warranted.
Ref's got to make the calls that he sees, whether they come slightly late or not.
Aaron, if you're Rose Tree on this kick here, where do you want to go?
If I'm Rose Tree on this kick, given that they've got 3 guys back and they've got 2 guys in good supporting positions, I'd probably go short. But I think he's going to go long and punt it down onto the right side of the field, and that's why you don't do that, because there's a turnover. But they get lucky.
Get it
Comes
right
back to Rose Tree.
But with no plan, it looks like.
just got to start working the possession here. Move the ball around, start to disorganize the opposition.
He's got to trail it to the right side, finds him, but quickly turned away. Ooh, man, is that going to...
They hit the flag.
If it hits the flag, what does that count as, guys?
It depends which side of the flag it goes out on. It looks like it's going to be a throw-in because it went out on the sideline side of the flag.
Brutal.
21-15 for South. House coming on. 24 Rose Street. The throw-in now is there. They find some daylight, but not much. As Rose Street still in control for the time being, looking for the call. Two of them go down.
We're going to get a penalty.
Dean is on fire, and now he's happy because here it comes as the Rose Street crowd erupts. And ladies and gentlemen, buckle in. This could be 2-2 real quick.
We had two really good shouts for penalties there. We had one on the edge of the box where the defender took the man down, and then the ball bobbled through to the attacker, and the keeper took the man down. So I'd be curious to know which one our referee has given, but he's certainly given one of them.
Now, you can't give two PKs back-to-back, can you?
He cannot, no.
And a yellow to South House to boot.
For delaying the kick.
So here we are. Probably the biggest PK of the game. As it's Rose Tree looking for the equalizer. God!
Oh, just tipped that one wide, maybe.
Fooled me. I thought it went in. My eyes played tricks on me, and we play on. As South House says no.
Nerves of steel, man. It's just, I don't know how these guys in that moment can have the composure to make a save. What a big moment in the biggest game of the year. Just stone cold killer kind of stuff.
I think it must have just gone out off the post because they're not giving a corner, but I thought it was saved initially. Penalties are a lottery, you know, like you saw Rose Tree put away a penalty against my team on Wednesday night, but couldn't convert here tonight.
As South House looking for the counter attack, some long strides. And some fancy footwork to keep this going up the pitch. I believe 2-0, just a little tired with keeping up.
He was going full force on that one, and it almost felt like it was just pure anger on not getting the penalty kick there. I mean, he was just coming out on fire from the midfield, trailed the play all the way down, and got a little physical there. By the way, folks, if you like this level of quality play, Casa is taking it up a notch, and that's going to be with a brand new division called Casa Select. And this is unbelievable. It's going to be paired with the EPSL, a semi-pro league. And the winner of that league is going to join the EPSL. Completely wild, nice level of growth for Casa. And there's going to be a lot more news coming with that. So make sure you follow the league. Casa is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Pretty amazing. So you're telling me if I get the idea at 38 to pick up soccer, there's a semi-pro league I could get to, maybe as a goal by the time I'm 65.
Yeah, I think you could do it.
Okay, good.
I believe in you.
That is why you have to go join Casa Soccer right now. 38-year-old dreams can come true, Vince Quinn. That's why I love this league. As much as I've loved to see the action tonight in the Cali Cup. Turned out to be a really great second half here, Aaron.
Yeah, really good so far. I mean, I think that Rose Tree have put it on a knife's edge for us with that goal, and we're very grateful to them for keeping it interesting.
Absolutely. Can I just say once again that as a newcomer, it is amazing that you guys have this at Subaru Park.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, isn't it? I mean, we've just got to be very grateful to the union for letting us do this. And right after their game too, when everyone's come out to enjoy a union win.
It's a nice little smoke dribbler out to the left there.
Yeah, I paused for a second in my commentary because I was like, "Oh, he's going to pull this."
Well, after that goal earlier from Rose Tree, yeah, you go, oh, was he going to get another sleeper in there? But yeah, credit to the Union. I mean, just a great organization. The reputation in the city is spotless. We've worked in sports media for quite some time. Not a bad word.
21, who has just been some of the freshest legs for South House here, has just been all over that left side of the pitch to try and shut this bad boy down here.
He's big and rangy, but he's got skill. Got real skill.
Haven't seen Rose Tree use this side by the pitch that much. My goodness. With a pretty brutal takedown there.
That's a tactical foul if ever there was one. Looked and said, "You're not going anywhere."
Rose Tree looking to not go anywhere here too. There's just too many South House. Is it jerseys? Do we say jerseys?
We
in
say
soccer, fellas?
jerseys.
Okay,
We say
good.
jerseys.
Just making sure.
But the full uniform would be the kit, John.
Ah,
Indeed.
I like that. Rose Tree into some trouble in the corner and not out of it yet until now.
Gonna get a corner.
Corner here. The corner of the night here.
Getting to about the 80th minute here, folks.
7 with the delivery. Some open space and a bomb that goes ricocheted. And the goalkeeper somehow keeps it in without it going out.
Okay, gents, I'm going to head down pitch side, and next time you speak to me, I'll hopefully have someone for us to interview.
Aaron, we appreciate it, my man. Thanks for hanging out with us in the booth.
Hey, it's been a real pleasure. I'll speak to you guys shortly.
See you down with the champions. That beautiful cup that they have down there. As 21 with the dish to 26. The fancy footwork, the left side. Oof. Pretty close. Not close enough as heading towards that 85th minute here. What a treat that was to have Aaron with us in the booth.
A lot of fun having Aaron.
Rose Tree circling around to the left side here. Trying to look for that breakaway and almost get it. Bracketed.
Not a bad punt there.
Not at all. Rose Tree keeps getting turned away. Great defense from South House. They thought that went and got deflected off of a Rose Tree player. They play on. And, oh boy, lucky header there. Not lucky, just good play. South House looking for the extender to 21, who also goes up and over and is not a linebacker, I've been told, but man, that didn't look like it was that much of a shot. And are they giving that to Rose Tree? They are.
I got to be honest, I don't know about that one. Because it was such a strange play because the way his momentum was carrying and with the momentum of the play really overall, it felt like he was going to go and make that move down the field and continue on. But he decides to stop and let up with nobody else there to get the ball. And he gets into the contact there. So I don't know. I mean, I'm a little surprised by that, but he definitely does seem to be hurt on the play.
Glad to see that he's up and about on his own power. But yeah, Vince Quinn, I'm not sure how to. Obviously, I'm not qualified to rule on that one way or the other. Just not sure if people as a defender, am I allowed to come into your line? Like, is it the offensive player responsibility to get out of the way? I wonder if there's any rules like that. Let us know in the chat.
Well, so yeah, it depends on how the part of it is you got to see it.
And South House, while we're trying to figure it out, they figure it out for themselves. And no, they are going to say offsides, not 3-1, and potentially the game-winning goal. It stays 2-1. Rose Tree and everyone else are puckered up pretty tight, just as I was there.
And if you're Rose Tree, you should move. Yeah, you gotta keep this thing going. You got this moment of confusion and frustration from South House. You only got a couple of minutes left. We're past the 80th, folks. So it's time for them to keep this moving. And let's see if they can get it down here deep and get a chance.
Little short, but still in control. Rose Tree now with another through ball that gets saved in the clutch there, looking for the center as gets moved up. The goalkeeper comes out. I believe we're going to have a corner here. And subs coming on 3 and 23 for Rose Tree, 5, 12, and 13. All entering for South House FC.
That got gutsy, and it's just it's a big effort play there. Look, we're late in this game here, and to have that kind of momentum where he's able to get through there and just punt it out the back, worth it. I mean, great play.
Great play. Just a unbelievable momentum swing where it looks like South House FC is about to close the door on Grandma, and she says, "I'm still awake here with this corner," as it goes up. And is still in control, at least for the time being. And foul now called and heading the other way.
And by the way, if you want to head to Charlotte, John,
Philly
Sports Trips. Yeah, Philly Sports Trips is going to be taking people to Charlotte in September. You get to see the Union take on Charlotte FC. And if you don't know Philly Sports Trips, they do an amazing job. You get your ticket to the game, flight, they'll shuttle you to the hotel, they book your hotel, there's tailgates before the games. Service, just customer service overall is absolutely excellent. And if you want to do that, and also as a member of the Sons of Ben, you would get a $50 discount on your trip to Charlotte. You can visit phillysportstrips.com, or you can hit the QR code, and we'll leave that up there for a minute for you up there in the top right.
And folks, if you are an Eagles fan, let me tell you to bookmark phillysportstrips.com, because if you're interested in that, these two fellas that are talking to you right now, actually all three of us, Taylor Cordatis, I'm John Barchard, Vince Quinn, are taking 1,000 Eagles fans to FedEx Field week 3 of the Eagles season, and we cannot wait to get down there to say hi to our friend Carson Wentz.
It's going to be 1,000 of us.
Go ahead and boo the crap out of him. But we will not boo anybody here in the Kelly Cup, as it has been an amazing night as South House FC tries to make it the best night as they go down for the left-hand side, and that is a goal in Bohemia, but not in Philadelphia, as it remains 2-1.
So close, just a great chance there, and something that could have put the game away. Not quite. Rose Tree still lives, John. Rose Tree still lives.
Love to see that. Not for our good friend John Truman, who is on the other side. And by good friend, I say we met him once. As Rose Tree now opens it up on the left-hand side with a little lob over, but too heavy. Just over the Pringles and Cheez-It sign.
And we are here at the 86th minute, folks. It is getting really tight now.
The crowd wants it over. Woman that's down to the right-hand side saying, blow the whistle already. As South House trying to oblige her a little bit here.
Thought he might have ripped that.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Just a why not kind of moment.
YOLO. With some nice fancy footwork in the corner. Rose Tree trying to gather itself here. And a good whistle from our referee tonight. And shout out again, just like a couple of nights ago, Vince Quinn, these referee crew here. Not as big as the Union game that we just saw, so they've been up and down the field all night just as much as the players.
And I got some things to say to that refereeing crew for the Union game. My goodness. I mean, they pulled out the win, but what a disaster the last bit of that game was.
Kelly Cup much better officiated than what we saw. As there's a lob pass for Rose Tree and a header.
Oh.
And a smack on the goal in frustration the woodwork.
There you go.
We're getting there, folks.
You're learning. 88th minute now.
Love this. Rose Tree still hanging in there. Looking for the tie and not off of that foot. It's been a big night for South House FC. And just as Aaron promised, he is down on the field. We do see him linking in there.
Check in with him shortly.
And now here comes Rose Tree. Getting cleared away. Frustrated that this is going to be a corner. As now the goalkeeper comes up. They know what time it is as we're starting to near very much that 90th minute mark. Probably will have a tiny bit of stoppage time, but not much. Is now the corner from Rose Tree. Cleared away easily.
Yeah, and you're just going to hustle and throw it in there.
As they're starting to feel the pressure now, and the crowd knows what's coming a little bit here too, as there's a little bit of a header up and over. They'll let go.
Smart play by the defender there. Let it go out. Let your keeper take it. Clock continues to run. Punt that thing out of here.
Big kick to midfield. Rose Tree.
Still alive.
One last gasp here, I would assume, as they try to get it going. Out to the left-hand side and a quick goal, and he comes over, and it's marked up, and no call, as they'll go to the corner now. Not suggesting there should have been one, just saying the crowd was looking for it. Rose Tree has to have it here. Do they have it? They don't. It gets bumped out. Still in control. Top of the box. Blows in a whistle. But not full time.
The keeper's hurt, John. When he went up to go and punch that one away, made some contact with the defender. And can't tell where it hit him, but he's down, and that's it.
That's it. Full time has been called. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome South House FC to the Cup Circle as you are witnessing the 2020 Spring League Kelly Cup champions.
This is their third time, John. 3 times now since 2019. South House has been able to get over the top. They played an absolutely phenomenal game tonight. Really in control most of the way here. Offense, defense, and that includes their star, Finn Reese, also known as Finn McCool, who did create a nice opportunity for himself with a rebound goal and had a breakaway that did get closed off. But a great game for South House FC overall, and they really deserve this one.
Yes, they did. From almost the first half on, that 2-0 first half really kind of put the momentum out in front. It was really tough to keep up. Rose Tree, just a hell of an effort in that second half. I think both teams should be really proud of the efforts that they kind of put on tonight. And obviously we'll have a little bit of a ceremony in just a little bit here, but a phenomenal Casa Soccer game once again that we've seen, and just so happy to be a part of the broadcast tonight. Big John Truman getting zoomed in on. Pumped up to win another cup.
Aaron's down on the field. Let's get him in there, Bill. If we can go to.
So we're heading to the field here. I've got John Truman and goalkeeper Bash. Guys, tell me about the game tonight. What did you see down there?
So, like we always expect, the first 15, 20 minutes, these guys have a ton of energy. I'm guessing their average age is 10 years younger than us. So once we weathered that storm, we managed to really find our feet. We hit them on the counter a couple times, and 2-goal advantage. I put full faith in them to pass for our back line. It just feels really freaking good to be back where we belong.
Bash, tell me more. What was it like making those saves, facing that penalty?
Oh, it was crazy. It was a really good game. I'm just happy that we won. Go South House. Thank you very much.
There you have it. Delighted down on the side of the field, and I'm wet. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Aaron.
Amazing.
We'll check back in with him a little bit. That's amazing.
Oh, man.
Amazing
Shout out
work.
to Taylor Cordatis for the camera split. They get the ice bath out on the field. And congratulations to the South House FC is now they're getting there it is, the chant of a champion, South House FC. Congratulations. And, of course, once again, thank you to everybody over at the Rose Street Gunnerside, including their manager, Dean, for giving us, man, just one hell of a game of football tonight here, Vince Quinn.
No doubt about it. And for South House, man, I mean, think about this. They lost to Rose Tree twice. You know going into this, they're feeling it a little bit. John knew they were the older side. He even mentioned like a 10-year age gap in certain members of the teams. And to be able to come through with this and get this cup again in this scenario is just such a beautiful thing for them. The joy is overwhelming from them, their supporters, and Aaron is absolutely soaked. It's hilarious.
That he is indeed. And, a nice slide in there at the end. And that's probably where we'll leave you here tonight from Subaru Park. Congratulations once again to the South House FC for hitting the Kelly Cup. Thank you to all of our sponsors tonight, including the Ezio Sports app, Philly Sports Trips, and, of course, all of you watching from home on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you saw the broadcast. For Vince Quinn, for Taylor Cordatis, for Bill Kornfeld, our engineer at home, I'm John Barchett from Subaru Park saying good night for Casa Soccer.